Hey riders, GRC Sunday short race at the lava beds. That's right, we're in the pipe, 5x5. Going back to a classic here. This event used to be so popular back in the day. Everyone's ridden it in the past, outside of the new people obviously, so we want to bring some of these old classics back. Here at GRC, our SSR races, Sunday short races, we just want to keep them short, intense, ride however you want, race, and just looking at the start list here, we've got some huge hitters, but what I first want to do is quickly jump back to a little bit of a map mode here. Let's just capture this quick. I've only got about 4 minutes here to spare. Just did a quick little warm-up. If you're looking for a short, easy warm-up, flat, just a spin, I did Schwangau Castle Loop or something. Just a super easy spin. Really liked it. So you can see here, lava beds. We're in Northern California. So there's all these volcanic lava flows here at surface. There's lava tubes you can explore. One of the highlights here is, they call it Glass Mountain or Obsidian Dome. Basically a mountain composed of, and it's boulders essentially, composed of pure obsidian glass. So rapid cooling, and glass formed, crystals didn't grow, and that's how you get obsidian. So you can see here, we're going 15.58 kilometers, 95 meters of climbing. Max grade will probably be at the very beginning, I believe. Average grading is 1%, even though you can see we're going downhill virtually all the way. There's just those little kickers to bring it back up. So I'm expecting a huge start by some of these riders up this first little stretch. So we've got, like, I believe it's, if you look on the right side of the screen here, you can see a 1.15 kilometer climb straight out of the chute. And we're going to climb, what does it look like, 1454 to 14, so 30 meters. So it's nothing really, but I expect huge watts to be dropped here. Maybe the climbers will try to get away from the more of the TT big style riders. Keeping track here, 757. What I'm going to do is the same as last week. I will, doing this right now, go quiet during the ride so I can breathe and function. And let's take a look at the, kind of all over the place here, folks. I wanted to take a look at all the riders here. I love it when people are all flying at the last second. Tons of support from Muckers Worldwide. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a blast following all of your races the last couple of weeks. You can see here we've got 89 riders. Some big guns coming in. I see Hensbergen's here. Oh, yeah, Tracy Styles here. Thanks, Tracy. Doolittle's here. Okay, and I saw Nelson Snyder. This is going to be like an absolute Watts fest at the beginning. Everyone jump in, blow yourself up, and then just cruise on down that huge hill. Sunday short ride, remember, Sunday short race / ride, let's just call it that. So let's just take a look into the app here now. So we have 1 minute to go. Gotta go, folks.
Hey riders, in the start chute, Team GRC, Sunday short race. Let's do this. Heart rates are climbing. Big hitters are here. It's about to go off. Boom! Out of the start chute. Let's just hit 4 watts a kilo here all the way up this first little climb. Lots of riders. I just saw Nelson Snyder just disappear off screen. Purple Bengal here as well. I just saw Alex there, El Danny Boy. I'm comfortable here, just blasting up here. I think I'm going to try to hold between 4.5 to 5 watts per kilo up this hill. Want to kind of get over the bump first and kind of like run away if I can. Here's a GUR rider, Ender Wiggum. Seen this rider around quite a bit. In the future here, I'm hoping to catch a lot more GUR races, just trying to figure out their schedule. Will apologize to right away. I'm really having trouble with my taskbar popping up on screen. You're going to see me fighting it here, so just forget about it. I'm going to work on it today. I don't know why it's done this. I haven't touched settings, nothing. Yeah, flying up the hill here. Got some little draft going on, so you're going to get some draft on this light stuff here. R. Luzar ahead of me, and here comes Nelson. Nelson just slowly starts creeping up. You can see how he disappeared off the side of the road here. I'm going to talk about that later in the video. I think the riders on the far left-hand side of the road, when they get out to the middle part, they disappear. Here's Hardy, and the rider I'm talking about here is Hardy. He disappears on me a lot during this race. I'm not sure why. So yeah, this is a great little start for me anyways up this hill. Here's Maloanel. I'm not sure how you say your name. I think you've commented quite a few times on my YouTube channel, which I really appreciate. Lots of good riders here, strong riders coming up. Here's M.A. Hutch. This rider gets into a nice little group ahead of me. I'm chasing after them here now. I'm like, I got to jump on this one. Just trying to keep the power up. I know the climb's coming to an end. 10, 15, 20 meters, we're over the top. I can get out of this 4 watts per kilo stuff and then basically spin myself silly going down this hill. High cadence for me here. I don't really like high cadence. I can see Chad Ritchie right ahead of me here. So I got Chad Ritchie, M.A. Hutch, and Murvy's here too. GT ZR 3000. Here comes a new rider to me, T. Keating 1964, putting in a really strong ride. The only thing I'm going to point out here is that, let's just call him T for now. He's on the wrong bike. Probably switched up. I mean, he's on the starter Rouvy bike and the starter Rouvy kit. So this rider here needs to change this bike out because you're at a distinct disadvantage here against me. You're probably riding the same level as me, but I'm going to be able to have a bit of an aero advantage over you. Up ahead here's ML Maloanel again, Chad Ritchie, Murvy. Great group. I'm just trying to get to terms with them and get on the backside here. So T 1964. We're going to shorten their name a little bit here. Riding really well with me. I can tell this is a really strong rider. And so the bike, he probably would have bridged up already, having a better aerodynamic bike. We're coming up on the next bump. I just jumped the power up a little bit, trying to be smarter and hold my power stronger over these little rises just to keep the momentum up. I've got Hardy behind me. C. Ribbons, and I can see Dawn, GRC member. So Hardy's a GRC member, Ribbons is not, and then we got Dawn just lurking in the background here. A lot of strong riders are just like right behind me here. So you can see at this point here, we're, what are we in? We're 2 kilometers in. My heart rate's already at 180 beats per minute plus. Normal for me. That first hill there probably just put a big beating on it. Really ramped it up quick. So I'm sitting on T 1964 wheel here. We're working pretty good together, I think. I'm going to come around, try to take my turn at the front on this little bit of a downhill here. And I'm just trying to jump across here. I'm trying to get to Maloanel. God, that's a really hard name to say. Hopefully they can drop a comment and see how they like that pronounced. I can see Murvy there, Chad Ritchie, all really strong riders. And to be honest, I know how Murvy rides. I know how Chad rides. I know how GTZR rides. Probably a little bit too strong and too fast for me, but I'm like, if I can get on with them, I'll do as much as I can, but I can get into a fast group, hide from the wind a little bit, just get away. So I started to pull away from T 1964 here. I can see Dawn and Hardy are coming up from behind. They're working really well together as a team. They're riding with this C. Ribbons. So the riders ahead of me, just about 20 meters ahead, I can see someone broke down there. So Peter there, I think it was Peter and a number, and he's probably a Czech rider. They kind of disappeared and came back a few times. So he's probably disconnected because I think I drive past him again. So Rouvy has reset him where he should have been, as he kept pedaling, but then he disconnected again. So I'm trying to catch on to these guys, also trying to bring my heart rate back down. So I'm sitting at 180 beats per minute. I can only do so much here. My biggest gear is not that big, so I don't really have a big gear to grind after them here. I feel kind of spun out here at this point. I think I've only got a 50 on the front. I believe it's an 11, maybe a 12. I don't even know. In fact, when I look down sometimes, I'm always questioning, am I actually in my smallest cog on the back? I think I'm going to double check that today. So they're kind of getting away from me here, and I can see that there's people coming up from behind. So we got T 1964, Cervelo, I think it says Cervelo 5 P3, so he must ride a P3 in real life. Really nice bike. I think that's what that's saying there. Here comes Hardy as well. So here comes C. Ribbons, moving sharp. There's a bunch that just swamp me here. Yeah, Cervelo S5P3, great bike if that's what you're riding. And we got Hardy here. Now, what I do notice here is that Hardy starts to disappear from me. They're in front of me, but I can't see them at all. And usually that will happen when there's like 5 or 6 riders like spread across the road. They disappear when they get to the yellow center line or whatever the middle door is. Here's Dawn as well on the Trek Madone. Actually, when I saw them here, I'm like, oh, am I on the right bike? Because I forgot to double check before the ride. But yeah, I think the Trek Madone was the bike for today. So here I am with 2 other GRC members. They've caught me. Went to a quick map mode here. You know, everything's pretty tight. There's a few splits here and there. Splits off the front and then more splits off the back. But there's a huge group of riders here. So I'm just going to tuck in behind Hardy and Dawn here. Catch a bit of a breather on this downhill. Here you can see my taskbars popping up again. It's really frustrating me during the ride. I kind of notice and then I'm trying to figure out how do I fix this. I'm going to have to ask some of my tech friends today on the Discord channel. Why it's doing this out of the blue, I have no idea. So the Chad Ritchie group and Murphy is now pulled away from us. I've let them get away. I should have tried harder at this point to like jump across to get on with them, but you know, my heart was racing pretty high. So now I've got my heart rate back to that 174 range. You know, and so when we're doing this too, when I'm doing my POVs of people racing, I can never see their heart rate. That's like privacy issues, right? But you get to see all of my heart rate stuff here. So here we are. We've got a nice group of 5 again. C. Ribbons, myself, T1964, Hardy, and Dawn. But you can see here on the leaderboards, Hardy's ahead of me, but I can't see him at all. His avatar is gone. Sometimes I think I see it and I'm like, no, like I don't even see his name showing up. So it's just very difficult to figure out where he is here. He might be sitting right over top of me. Maybe the 2 avatars are overlaid on each other. I'm not really sure what was going on here. But I think there's a point that comes up where I'm trailing Hardy by about 3 meters. I can't see him on screen, his avatar, and there's 0 draft effect either. So you can see here like Dawn's just kind of disappearing off the left-hand side of the screen because he's getting too far to the middle of the road. I think that's how Rouvy does it. They don't want people potentially running into a car coming the other way. It's just easier for them to probably make their routes. Here I'm fighting the taskbar again. Like, talk about multitasking, right? Okay, so putting a bit of power down, getting in behind everyone. So we can see I'm going to shorten up M's up ahead of us here. Yep, fighting it again. So M's not that far up the road, and we're going to pursue them. So there was someone broken down. Missed that name quickly there. Sorry about that. So it looks like M's only maybe 50 meters up the road from us. And, you know, there's 4 or 5 of us working together here. We should be able to pull that rider back. I mean, they're fighting everything by themselves. But there's also riders just ahead of him, and that's that Chad Ritchie group. Chad, Murphy, GTZR 3000. So myself here and Ribbons out front now. Hardy's behind us. Dawn's there too. Dawn's just fallen off maybe 10 meters or so with T1964. Must have been just happened in some of those rollers. So M's doing a good job. Maybe I'll just call him Noel. I don't know why, but that looks easier to say than me. So here you can see on screen, Hardy on the leaderboard is ahead of me, but not visible on screen at all with me and Ribbons. I can see Ribbons ahead of me. I can see Ribbons on the leaderboard. Hardy's apparently 1 meter ahead of me, but they're not there. But I am getting the draft effect from Ribbons here, who worked really well at this point and basically helped me pull back towards M that's ahead of us. So we're slowly pulling that rider back. We're like just out over 30 meters. There's a bit of gaps opening behind us, so Dawn, who I was just riding with, has just slipped back a tiny bit. Hardy is apparently still ahead of me, but they're not on screen. So Ribbons is there, M's there, so we pull back on M. Noel now. Thank you, C. Ribbons, for helping me out there. Appreciate that. Going up a little bit of a bump, still pushing 300 watts per kilo. Sorry, 300 watts here. About 3.3, 3.5 watts per kilo. Ribbons goes for it here. Dropping some power. So we're at split number 2 here. And I can just see riders ahead of us again. I think that might have been pace line G, I believe, at this point. Chad Ritchie's there, GTZ. Yeah, so pace line G and Murphy, I think, are just off the leaderboard ahead of me. So Ribbons put in a pretty good dig there and got away from me. M. Noel reacted And I've just kind of got tailed off a bit here. So you can see here, Hardy's 1 meter ahead of me, no draft effect on me. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Why can't I get any bit of a draft? I know I'm a bit too far behind M at this point. They're 15 meters ahead of me, so I'm not going to receive any draft, but it seems like it just doesn't, the draft's not working at all here. I get closer and closer to M. So, okay, so maybe at 10 meters, draft should kick in. Gurr passes me here, Ender Wiggum, and the draft comes back. So something very strange was happening there with Hardy kind of disappearing. Now, Hardy's behind us now. Mixenzio's comes up beside me. Cervello, 5, P3. Actually, it's Cervello's 5, P3. So we got a little bit of a group here again. So, I'm doing a little bit of a drift here. I was riding in 17th. I'm getting bumped back to 21st now. But you can take a little look in the top left-hand corner. Heart rate 188. Now, if I was 25 years old, I'd be okay with that, but I'm more than double that. I think I said a couple days ago, I'm not a young guy. Probably like most of us on here. So, whatever. So, here I am bumping up to 189 beats per minute. And, here comes John. SR71's coming up. He's always in his Halloween costume, his skeleton suit with the orange helmet. John did a great job here to pull back on. So I know there's just a ton of riders behind me. And I was going to think about going into map mode, in and out of map mode more here, but I was working too hard at this point. I was just holding on. So thankfully, we got another bit of a downhill here. We are only 4 kilometers to the finish. John's riding strong with me. There's a bit of a gap in between me and John to the group ahead of us, like 15 meters. Here comes Wiggum reacting to that. I'm looking at this gap, taking a bit of a breather here. John starts chasing him, and I react to that, get in behind John here, get a nice draft. Really nice draft savings here too. But the group ahead of us is starting to pull away. They're 25 meters out ahead of us. And at some point here, I start thinking, I gotta get after these guys. It's either now or never. Like, in these rides, you gotta react as you see it happening. So we're still off the back. We're still 20 meters behind them. I think it's right about here I start turning up the power a little bit. Yeah. I just start pushing. John, jump on my wheel. Let's go get them. So I'm riding, 400 watts here. Bridging across. Hoping John's coming with me. And he's right behind me here. I think he's only 4 meters back. I just keep pushing the power. I gotta get back on with them now. It's now or never. Thankfully, I claw my way back. I'm wiped though here. Hard again, 189. I don't think we see 190 today, but that's very common with me in these types of events. So I'm back with M. So now I've finally reeled back M. I'm with Wiggum from the Gurr team. We've got Mixenzio's here, and Hardy's here as well. A meter ahead of me, but they're not present on screen. So something very strange is happening with Hardy's avatar. I'm not sure what's going on there. I know Hardy had problems with getting DQ'd for a while. Totally legit rider. I don't know if this is what's happening. It's having trouble recognizing where he is on screen. I don't think he got disqualified today. I've seen the results, but I just don't remember that. So we got Malonel right beside me. I'm taking a nice draft off Mixenzio's here. Hardy's apparently ahead of me. We got Ender Wiggum. And we got the Cervello's 5 P3 rider here as well. Now at this point here, I'm taking a look back, and John's just faded off the back. When I was pulling across, I was hoping he was on my wheel. I think he just got, out to that 10, 12 meters and fell out of my draft, and then just slowly drifted back a bit. I might have done that when we were like on a bit of a bump and maybe going down a hill. So he got left out of that. So sorry, John, I was trying to pull you across with me, hoping I could draft off you in turn. But apparently Hardy's here still. So we got this group of 5 or 6 riders here. John's only 100 meters behind. He's with T1964. I'm with Malonel, Mixenzio's, Ender Wiggum. Actually, I think Wiggum goes on a little bit of a tear here pretty quick. They're one of the riders that pulls away. Yeah, there's Wiggum appearing again. So there's a group of 5 of us here. I'm feeling pretty good here. This is a nice little group. 21st place for me. I'm totally cool with that. I love it. Now, Hardy's just behind me here, but you still never see Hardy the whole way. So there's something strange with the avatars going on here. Someone's just off the front of us here too. Having trouble seeing the name. Looks like it might be Ribbons. Yeah, I think it's that Ribbons character again. They're not that far ahead of us. Their avatar's just popping up. Actually, their name tag is popping up. See Chad Ritchie still up there. I wish I could have bounced around more on this one, folks, but you know, this is a POV, so this is just me. Coming to the finish here, we're not that far to go now. I'm not about to get racy at this point. In fact, with my heart rate at 187, I'm thinking about I need to jump off here and get on my mic quick. We're 500 meters to go at this little hut. And I do want to say something here is that when I finished my ride, I had a real hard time finding the ride again and getting in to watch people. So I gotta say, I kind of messed up. I missed a whole bunch of finishes that are right behind me. I don't even know if I would have got to them in time. Like, I could not find the ride. So I've cut all that out. I lost about 45 seconds. Usually I close the ride, jump straight into watch. You gotta exit altogether and then go back into watch. I just could not find it. Bear in mind that my heart rate's 189. I'm delusional at this point. So I'm just thinking here now, I just want to chill to the finish. Just do 3 watts per kilo. We don't need any 5 at this point, so I can start bringing my heart rate down. So it doesn't sound like someone needs to call the hospital or call an ambulance for me when I come back.
Sorry folks, could not find the ride there. I see some sprint finishes coming up, and I apologize, my taskbar keeps showing up. We saw Michael G finish, El Palm finish. We're going to jump back. Gidgar coming to the finish, Rebel 72, nice job. Okay, I see Honest Jack up ahead. Honest Jack is coming to the finish right now, perfect job, 81 years old, Niagara Freewheelers. Behind we have Martin Hoka, 5 watts per kilo. So when I finish the race there, oh, I see the Purple Bengal coming. Any bit of a gradient, you got to watch out for Purple Bengal. We've got Stu chasing Martin by 70 meters. Purple Bengal coming up with Cervelo Ghost. Will they catch Stu just ahead of them? Everyone's pushing 4 watts per kilo here. Stu's hanging on for dear life. Less than 200 meters to go. A tiny bit of a false flat. I don't think this is enough for Purple Bengal. She likes the steeper stuff, you know, 7% plus. That's her territory right there, folks. Cervelo Ghost finishing behind Purple Bengal. Olaf is cruising in very fast. Good to see Olaf DG. El Danny Boy just behind them. We've got a Gem City rider here with David 1951. I had a great ride, David. Here's Kristen from Gem City ICC. Christian Babbo coming in strong as well. Danon, another Gem City rider. And then the unknown mysterious 1 of 500. 500 what? It's a good question, right? So you can see when I finished there before, folks. Let's just pop back. We got Predag here. Eat More Cake from Wales, chasing after Predag. I know Eat More Cake is in the 70 to 79 class. You know, look at this here. Looks like about a 72 kilogram rider, 70 kilogram rider. Will they reel Predag? And Predag's fighting now. Predag is fighting for his life. Cloud Splitter just behind them, 76 meters back. This may just sit the way it is. You know, all those downhills really gets your heart rate burning. I'm not sure if you saw when I finished there. No sprint, nothing left in me. Well, there was probably something left, but my heart rate was ticking at 189, 188. Oh, look at this here. Cloud Splitter now being passed by Leonamo. He's going to catch him sleeping here. We've got another new rider here, Machuz, cruising up behind the two of them. We got F. Kennick coming in. Everyone's looking really good here. Ross Duke, good to see you again. I see Ross all the time. Glad you joined our race again. Finishing strong, over 4 watts a kilo here. Being chased by Dominic Rossi. Dominic is currently 500 meters back behind Rossi, so there's a bit of gap there. Dominic's just got to take this last little bump on here. He's got 10 meters of climbing left, no big deal. Hansa 68 chasing Dominic. We got Whoa Nelly. So there's probably a bunch of riders that finished right behind me. I saw all the names I know. In fact, I was having trouble seeing Hardy's avatar the whole race. I could see him on the leaderboard, but nowhere in front of me. And it wasn't a case of when, you know, you've got 6 riders in front of you strewn across the road from right to left. I think Rouvy has an algorithm to make their job easier. Anyone that's over that yellow center line, or say 50% of the road, they vanish. They don't want to deal with having to deal with, oh, Bob 62122 saying, enough. I'm picking up a few spots here. Nice job, Bob. We're sitting on Wonelli. So I think Rouvy just makes those riders disappear so that they don't have to, how do we figure out how they're going to drive through this car? It just looks less realistic seeing someone just ghost through a car. It's kind of cool right now. You can see the finish line in the distance here. I believe that's it right there. You can just see that there. That should be the finish line where I'm circling, just pointing on the screen. You can see it drew in and drew out there. That's AR elements right there, just off of Wonelli's right shoulder. Anything going on at the front here to catch? So Wonelli, here's Anders. Anders doing a great job. I think it's Anders. Anders part of our GRC and just did some big tests at school. I'm not actually sure what Anders is taking. I know I've asked him before and I've just forgotten. Behind them we got Papan 76 and Tracy doing a fantastic job. She's over the worst of it, cruising downhill. So Anders disappeared from us for a little bit over Christmas and New Year's, studying, and then I think a little bit too much celebrating. So Anders is on the comeback. He was also sick as well, so good to see him out here. Thank you for joining the race, Anders. You're a star. Papan 76, who I've seen before as well, decked out in the Trek gear. And we've got Tracy here. And today, I'm going to sit right here and follow Tracy to the finish. Look at the ponytail flowing in the breeze. So yeah, I love these short races. We're out in the desert here in Northern California. I think if I had to pick my favorite type, yeah, sorry, that always happens now. I've messed up something on my computer. Sorry, folks. That's horrible. So the taskbar keeps showing up all the time on the bottom. I don't know what I've done. And I've got it set to auto hide. Something's kind of blipped up, probably in an update. But yeah, back to the desert. I love desert environment. I could live here in a heartbeat. My favorite place to vacation in the world, and I know it's not that exotic. I love going to the Baja California, La Paz, Laredo, been to Cabo a ton of times, like probably 18, 19 times. San Jose del Cabo, I've stayed in between. You know, it's very touristy there, but if you go a little bit out, you're in the middle of nowhere. Like absolutely nowhere. It's the kind of place you're out there, say an hour from anything, you could just die out in that desert. It's so hot. August is brutal. It's normal, you know, just bone dry out there. So I'm always fascinated by the desert. I love harsh environments. And I think that's why recently, too, I've been kind of sucked into the world of the Scottish Highlands and all that kind of fun stuff. I got a good video coming out today. Unless I get really lazy here and just pack it in for the day. It's not even 9 o'clock in the morning for me, so that would be pretty pathetic if I did that. Actually, it's only 8:28. Yeah, I'm going to get that video out today. So this is great to see. We had 72 finishers today. Team GRC Sunday short vents. Races. Remember, folks, I'm still trying to cool down here, and like I said, the fan's rocking this time. I can't turn it down. The races are growing every weekend. It's awesome to see all the muckers turn up. I think I saw at least 5 to 6 actual muckers riders, and I saw muckers from riders from all the muckers race events I've been covering. You know, at least they registered. I'm not sure if they're in the race because they were probably way ahead of me. I think I finished, actually I didn't see, I think last time I looked I was in 22nd place. You know, that's good enough for me. I'm happy with that. Top third, back of the top third, that's kind of where I belong. Don't think I'm going to get any better than that. But yeah, I saw Nelson for a little bit. I'm glad he was right on screen right behind me, trying to get his face on camera there, and then just rocketed away. I was going to take a look at the profile on the bottom. When you watch the video back, you'll see there was a tiny green dot way at the end. I'm pretty sure that was Nelson going for the race win. So Tracy's still here doing her thing. I'm just going to step away for a second here, turn my fan off, and we'll come back to Tracy right away.
And here we go again, folks. Came back. Tracy's coming for the finish here right now. Great job, Tracy. Great turnout again. Tons of people registered. I believe it was 77 showed up. And we got 72 finishers today on the Team GRC Sunday short race. Great job, everyone. See you around real soon.